Welcome to Gossip About Gossip, powered by Hedera Hashgraph. In each episode, we'll cut through the hype of blockchain promises and explore real-world examples of organizations creating the next generation of decentralized applications, which will bring trust back to the internet for us all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Gossip About Gossip, the podcast where we talk about real-world applications of distributed ledger technology. My name is Zenobia Godschalk, and I'm the SVP of Communications here at Swirlds Labs, helping to grow the Hedera ecosystem. Today, I'm very excited to have a return guest, Ian Mullins with Yamgo. Hey, Ian, how are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be on the show. The last time I was here was October 2019. So we've got a very long and rich history to share with the listeners today. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yes. Pre-pandemic, before the world, turned on its head. So Ian, I think, one of the first things I want to tackle is a lot of people might know you from AdStacks. And I think it would be helpful if you can just explain to the audience a little bit about the relationship between those two companies and, hey, this is, sort of your journey.
Sure. Okay. So essentially, we're on a mission to build the best metaverse that earn, play, and collect. So we first started looking at how we could help people to earn. And this is where our background for the last sort of 12 years, we've been working with some of the world's biggest brands to deliver their video campaigns. So we've been working with agencies and big brands. We do the creative production from the video creation, the graphics, the HTML5, and then we analyze and deliver that to an audience. So historically, what we've been known for is our ad network. We've had a network of millions of consumers all around the world connect to our servers, and we've been distributing adverts. That's what we were originally known for in the Hedera ecosystem. And the sort of the big claims to fame for us is that we solved a large portion of the ad fraud challenges within the existing Web2 advertising ecosystem by making sure that we could track every single payable event and interactions with the consumer. And what this did was enable us to identify and cut out and reduce certain types of fraud. And in the advertising industry, the fraud is rampant. And one of the big reasons we first started using Hedera was to address this problem. There's no transparency. There's about 80 to 85% wastage from when you spend, a single dollar in the ad industry. Forget how effective, 50% of it's going to be. Literally 85% of it is wasted on inefficiencies. So that's where we first started. We could see a big opportunity to try and change the industry and make sure things were transparent. And, we really very quickly became very passionate about looking after the consumer. And, at the same time, 4 or 5 years ago, Web3 really started to become a thing. And how could everybody reward the consumer for their participation? So we were kind of like really leading that charge with a passion that we've come from the ad industry. We know how it works. We work with big brands. The biggest losers in the industry so far are the consumers who are having their data used, abused, stolen, ripped off, manipulated. So that's where we started. We're a really strong proposition to solve that problem. We literally, for every campaign that we did, we literally started adding in tracking. We started adding in these fraud prevention things. And it really, over the first few years, we really ramped up. I mean, it was fantastic. We were getting really good traction. We could see more and more brands taking on board, the challenges of identifying where they were wasting their money. But there are so many problems with the ad industry, and that also includes it's very difficult for small companies like us to change the way in which these existing ad companies work. So we've been really up against it, and particularly in the last 18 months, we're currently in the midst of kind of an advertising decline and extended crypto winter, which is, really starting to give me a bit of a chill, to be honest with you. And we really need the bull times to start to come back again, which I'm sure they will. So for us, it's really about building and scaling during this time to how we can improve the products and services that we offer to advertisers. So, a big claim to fame was we've done 2 billion of the current 9 billion transactions that are on Hedera. We were number one for the first few years with a peak TPS of 1,372. Now, Avery Dennison, I think they've done over 7 billion. So we're only 22% of the transactions on Hedera. So yeah, we were the first big at scale live enterprise use case, and there is still significant opportunity to actually create a new standard. And we aim to create kind of like a paradigm shift in how consumers are respected and rewarded. And we've tried to tackle the market from, right, we can run these campaigns and we can solve the fraud problem and we can deliver your campaign. And to be honest, that only solves part of the problem. We actually need to disrupt the advertising ecosystem. We need to properly make sure consumers are rewarded. And, based on our success, you won't actually ever need a Facebook or a Google or any other publisher or intermediary to reach your audience. We believe that once a brand is connected directly to a consumer via the wallet, issue a token, their token, ideally HBAR or our token, they can be rewarded, and the lifetime value for holding on to somebody. It's like having every product a brand could offer to its consumers. It's like having a bank account like extension. How do you incentivize people to buy again, to recommend to their friends, or just to feel part of the community? So we see, like many others in the Web3 community, we see the tokenization of everything, the tokenization of how a brand interacts with their customers, this to be delivered in a way that can be valued. At the moment, consumers are not valued. So that was our real passion to get us started. And so we've been working for the last few years really on how we can extend that proposition to help consumers to extract value from other areas. So we see, for example, a big opportunity in how consumers can be rewarded for their gaming, for their playing, for consumption. So our vision really is you take a product like Red Bull. Wouldn't it be amazing if every time you consumed a product, you were able to simply scan it and receive a reward? Now, Red Bull, their distribution strategy is via intermediaries and distributing out, but the trend in the world really is that brands want to go direct. They loved email when that first came out. They now have a combination of email, a bank account, and social media combined with the ability to have greater sort of a relationship that's built on trust, that you respect me as a consumer. I buy a product from Red Bull again. If I was given a tiny incentive to collect Red Bull tokens that gave me an offer or a discount or an exclusive NFT, when I'm looking on the shelf, I wouldn't buy Monster Energy, I'd buy Red Bull. So these new kinds of loyalty programs that can be delivered online and offline, we believe are going to be game changing. We believe we can create the track and pay loyalty payment rail that can reward consumers for multiple interactions with brands and what they do as they surf around the web, as they contribute and they create value for others. We want to pay consumers the fair share of the value they create. So that's where we started. That's what's continuing. And the exciting news really is, really watch this space. Whilst Avery Dennison has, really shown the potential beyond what we did, and we were kind of instrumental in the early days in helping, really showcase the technology, what it can do. And we've always known for years from the very beginning the potential of Hedera, and now I think the market's starting to wake up to the potential. And Avery Dennison, watch this space. We'll be number one again. It might take us a few months, might be next year, but he's on. We're up for it.
Throwing down the gauntlet. I love it. And so this sounds like a much more sort of robust and feature-rich, engagement with consumers, right? It's not just hey, I'm going to advertise to them and, try to solve this fraud problem. It's, I really want to have a sort of a two-way dialogue with them. I want to be able to understand what they like, what they care about, what engages them, what, causes them to, buy more or utilize more. So how do you see that space evolving today?
Well, at the moment, it's quite challenging. There's lots of different ways, that basically brands want to buy attention. That's the big thing, that the commodity that they're after when it comes down to it. So we first started with looking at, the incentive that you would need to encourage a consumer to do any particular action. So if we wanted someone to download a game, the biggest problem with these onboarding metrics is the cost of acquisition versus the cost versus the advertising. And when you suddenly talk about apps and you add in the lifetime value, literally 99% of apps are uninstalled, within 30 days of first installing them. The customer retention within some of these mobile markets and for certain apps, it's sort of like really is a hit-driven industry. So we see brands really firstly trying to look at how they can better connect with their audience with these micro communities. And what we're looking to do is to create every one of the brands and the ecosystems that we see in the Web2 world now. We want to migrate them over to Web3. So we're having a sort of hot prospect list consists of 5 brands, which we are, in sort of like, double digits number of meetings and discussions with them to try and create the products that they see are going to change the industry for them, to enable them to stop giving their budgets to an advertising agency, because they can reach the mass market through, Google and Facebook, to actually go in, how do we invest in this for the long term to have a better relationship? So if we see more brands very interested in this, getting them to switch from their existing media plans to a new one has been really challenging. You often see in the media, every once in a while that, some big brand will come out and announce and say, we're no longer using Google and Facebook for this. Oh, it's absolutely terrible. They announce that on the Friday, and on Monday afternoon, they start buying again because there are very few little choices. There's very few choices. So we see that, the big trend really is the brands want to own. Again, they have in various times in history, like when this first started, direct to consumer communications, they want to own a better relationship with their customers. And so we want to provide the tools where they can do that. And we're just going to basically essentially leverage our existing relationships with brands and agencies. We see that as a key thing. The community it's really important for every brand to have a closer relationship. It's key now that influencers are a thing. For some time they've been, really important for some of the big brands to get their messaging out there. We can see that now being extended to the influencers are being rewarded, because of their connection with the consumer. Now let's go down another level and start properly rewarding the people for creating the real value, the actual end consumer. So that's where we want to really kind of onboard millions of consumers into our ecosystem to help them to get rewarded. And many people see our services kind of like banking the unbanked, giving people who don't have access to basically financial rewards to have their own bank account, which is very similar to a bank account in many ways, but doesn't have the constraints, and it can be owned and controlled directly by the consumer without any third party. So we believe in decentralization, through and through. So, just to put this in perspective, we're on a mission to deliver an ultra secure, unhosted cold wallet solution, which offers, the best ways for consumers to interact, to earn, to be safe, and to store and spend their virtual assets. We think it's, some of the most fundamental problems in crypto haven't really been solved. How do people look after their assets to the best ability? How do consumers understand the complexities of the security? How do they, feel that, well, if you've got a large amount of HBAR, what's the best way to separate and protect my assets? Some of these most fundamental problems we've seen exist. We've always known it. I mean, Christian Hasker about 4 years ago said, like, critical to this is education. We've got to educate the user. Let's go. We've got to get them up to speed. And today, 4 years on, same message. Education is still critical. And we see it in the Hedera ecosystem as well. It's really important for people to understand how you can use these advanced tools like multisig. So how do you use that? How can you use that effectively? And we've seen examples in the industry recently where people haven't really fully understood how you can use those tools. And the very most recent example, someone didn't understand that after if you've got a multisig where 4 out of 7 have got a sign, if you've lost 3 of your keys, you can reset them. And then people didn't know that. You just need the 4 people to sign, and then you can reset if you set it up correctly. So there are some fantastic tools, and there's some fantastic technology which people need to understand more about to use effectively and make themselves safe. So one of the big products that we've had within Yamgo, so just to answer your question from the beginning, So you've got AdStacks, which is effectively our advertising platform, where we're aiming to effectively reinvent the ad industry with web-free tools for brands. And then we've got Yamgo, which is our business-to-consumer brand, and that comprises of our wallet tech, and we aim to be a super app to earn, play, and collect virtual assets. So that's this kind of the interact between the two.
And Ian, you talked a little bit about education, and I know you all have some education initiatives on the horizon. Can you share a little bit more about those?
Yeah, I can. So today, we got a really exciting announcement. And so today, if you go to yamgo.com, you can. And
I will clarify this. So this will run, after we have recorded. So.
Brilliant. Okay. Since the 17th of this month, we announced a major partnership with Stirling University. So, and it's basically for educational content. So let me just give you a bit of the backstory, how this all came about. So if you go to yamgo.com today, right now, you can use our advanced wallet tools. You can set up multi-signature. You can go there. You can earn HBAR by doing activities like downloading games, and you can also earn HBAR today, right now, by looking at videos. And you can have we have a number of campaigns running at the moment to learn about Yamgo, to learn about Hedera, and at the end of them, you can earn HBAR. So if you answer the question correctly, so this is a learn to earn product, which the leader in the industry is someone like Coinbase. They heralded learn to earn. So for the past few months, we've been looking at how we can solve this educational challenge properly and have a long running program where we can educate people. And there's nowhere better to educate people than at university. There's people that are very keen to learn. The universities want to teach people how to use a digital wallet and what cryptocurrency is, and how it all works. So we started a number of months ago, 6 months ago, to be honest, talking to universities about how we could have a kind of university educational program to make sure that students are learning, about Hedera, about HBAR, how it works, how the private key works, what's a non-custodial wallet, what's a hot wallet, all of these really big key features. So, Stirling University, I'm pleased to announce, has signed a partnership with us for educational content. So, Stirling is one of the UK's top universities. It's ranked top 30 for student satisfaction. Stirling is 4th in Scotland and the 43rd, I think, in the UK for research impact. And they got a fantastic campus. It's a kind of northeast of Edinburgh, so northwest of Edinburgh, in the ocean.
And can anyone participate in these, or does it have to be students at the university?
The program is run with the University of Stirling. There will be extra capacity to run the same educational content for more, but this is in partnership with them. It's specifically for their students, but it will be opened up. So it features expert insights from Professor Marcus Krebs. We have the course aims really to teach the fundamentals of crypto, blockchain, Hedera, what we're doing, and the correct use of private keys. So one of the biggest hooks for the university to engage with us is they love the fact that our wallet, gives the private key, gives it in a non-custodial way, so the student is in charge of their private key. A lot of other services hide what's going on, and then they actually become centralized because they've got a copy of your key or access to your key, or other third parties have. As where we are an unhosted cold wallet, really trying to satisfy the needs of large crypto holders, brands looking to secure their treasury, developers looking to secure their treasury. And so they love the fact that students can practice, multi-sig, we can have a threshold, or we can have a setup where if we lose 2 of our keys, it's fine. And so so what we found is that the wallet, the services, the technology that we've built really has a really strong educational opportunity to help educate people. And the university is fantastic. They will push this out to their students. And the interesting thing is that at the end, they're actually going to be paid. They're going to be paid in HBAR. Answer the questions correctly, they're going to be paid in HBAR. So this shows real utility for HBAR. It shows how it could be used by a tier 1 educational brand. And this is the start. So, it could be a fantastic opportunity. We're looking to roll the program out globally with different universities and different educational partners to get the message out there. And we hope this is going to bring on lots of the right, retail end users, and also university computer science departments are usually spawn a lot of developers every year. So Hedera for the University of Stirling, watch this space. There could be lots of students now developing on Hedera, over the coming years. And, that's going to be fantastic for everybody to see new projects coming from Stirling.
Very exciting. Ian, anything else on your roadmap that you would like to share with our audience before we wrap up here?
Yeah, sure. So I guess so much has happened. So I guess it kind of like the key things for us is, I guess, the big thing in terms of our tokenization platform, what I don't think many people realize is that we've actually launched our own utility token. It's called Yamgo. We launched that last year, but we've followed a different launch plan to many other people. We have a platform, we have a service, we have customers, and we basically, instead of giving out points and some other token, we're actually giving out our own utility token. You can't buy it, you can only earn it. So we've done, from a legal and regulatory perspective, what's called a fair launch. So people aren't buying our token to build our platform or anything like that. We've built our platform. This is a loyalty token. So even in regulatory environments like Europe, where there's MiCA, we're fine. As where some companies now are running around going, oh dear, we're a virtual asset service provider, we need regulating. So we're trying to stay in this sort of on the decentralized side, where we can offer a full range of services, but we never have access to your keys. We're completely non-custodial. We coin ourselves as like virtually decentralized. If we didn't exist or our servers went down, we don't have access to your crypto. We don't have access to your keys. Everything is safe. So there's no issue. If we got hacked in some way, it doesn't affect your crypto. We've not got your keys, your crypto. So our token really sort of, for brands, our token enables them to access our Yamiverse. We're launching our own metaverse called the Yamiverse that we're coming out next year. They use our token to pay for their advertising, for the in-game collectibles. Could be to access our infrastructure, our tools, our low-cost payments, and what we believe is going to be a new standard for direct consumer programmable incentives. So in the same way in which Sterling are using to try and encourage their students to learn about crypto, and we're going to give them incentives to do that. We can look at the statistics and the figures and say, all right, okay, we've only got X thousand of students who've completed that program. What do we need to do to encourage them to do more? We'll look at the incentives and what we offer. So we're rolling out this infrastructure to be able to do that. And for consumers, our token enables them to pay in our marketplace to collect in-game collectibles, characters, and resource actions. So our utility token has started off quite quietly. We've done no big, ICO or anything like that, but we're building the utility as we scale. And then we believe our token will become incredibly useful as our new standards for programmable incentives for brands, and that platform gets launched. So it's pretty exciting times for us, and we're keeping a really close eye on the regulatory side. And to emphasize that, we've launched a sort of brand new club. It's Club Yamgo. It's exclusively for HBAR hodlers. They can earn extra rewards. They can earn more HBAR rewards. They can earn Yamgo rewards, and they can earn our NFT rewards that we've released. They get first access, and essentially, if you hold HBAR, which I'm sure you do, if you join Club Yamgo, you'll be able to get significantly more rewards. So we hope to see you in our club soon, Zenobia.
All right. And is that just clubyamgo.com, or where do they go?
Yeah, clubyamgo.com. You can sign up at yamgo.com. Clubyamgo.com gives you more information as well. Our Yamiverse is yamiverse.com. The other, the thing that I've alluded to here is our game, our metaverse, is called the Yamiverse. Yamis have also been launched privately to our Club Yamgo members. If you're in our club, you can receive our Yamis. I think when we met in Davos, I gave you some stickers of our Yamis for your for your kids? Did they
Indeed,
like
they love it. Yeah.
Well, now you need the real thing. Now you need the NFTs to go with them. So join the club, and we'll send them some real virtual assets and some of our NFTs. So Yam is a really innovative social gaming metaverse that seamlessly kind of merges the exciting realms of NFTs, collectibles, with an idle strategy gameplay in HBAR. So it's in a kind of a rapidly evolving landscape. Yammies are these kind of hard-working, industrious, ant-like creatures that inhabit the world of Colonesia, which in Colonesia is also a virtual land, which is an NFT as well. And we're hoping to onboard brands into our hubs and cities so that they can have their Web3 offerings within our metaverse. So one of the big ways that we're pulling in brands in the future is for them to join our metaverse. There'll be a whole bunch of collaborations launched in the second half of this year with a number of big brands where they're sponsoring Yammies. And wouldn't it be amazing if people like Red Bull had our Yammies had wings so they could fly from one side of Colombia to the other? And that's sponsored product placement, which we think the brands are really interested in. They're open and receptive to the metaverse, but they really want to see the hard numbers. There's a large amount of experimental budgets, but until we see the big numbers entering into the metaverse, it will never get beyond a few 100,000 campaigns. So we really want to focus on building the audience. And the NFT game, it's a play and earn game. The key thing about our game mechanics is the user has in a certain amount of control. When they merge Yammies, they create a more scarce Yammy, which has higher value within the game. So we've got very exciting new dynamic features within the game where you can merge your Yammies to create a more powerful, more powerful Yammy within the game. And there's 9 levels, and it goes up to Queen. Queen obviously being the highest level, game 9, so you can merge your way all the way up to a Queen. And we believe this is going to be a really exciting game for people to play. It's going to be a bit of a social experience. We have looked at some of the best games in the industry, like Axie, and that's been interesting to see where they failed, where they succeeded. But at the end of the day, they had 1 million concurrent users, wow, many times currently. So to get kind of that user base and to tap into that with an earned product, we see this as one of our interesting, in the future, one of our interesting consumer products. But it's one of many of our ways for consumers to earn money. But it's quite exciting. The NFT world is growing. When the next bull market comes around, we're going to see a massive return to the NFT industry. So we think that's fantastic. I look forward to seeing you in the club and sending you some of our Yammies. And they will be available for sale at some point this year. We will be using 1 or 2 marketplaces to help us to distribute to the community. There's some fantastic marketplaces out there. We're going to use them rather than build our own. And so we're looking for people, to join with that. So I've mentioned loads of things. So I guess, just to clarify, we've got 4 core products. We've got our advertising and token platform. We've got our rewards platform. We've got our play and earn platform, and we've got our collectibles and NFT gaming for brands going forward. So it's pretty exciting. We're doing quite a few things at the same time to really hit the same objective to enable consumers to earn. Is
fantastic. Well, Ian, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure that folks who have been following your journey will be excited to keep going and to try out all the new things and features that you have available.
Cheers. Thank you very much. So, my kind of closer would be really, please join Club Yamgo. Open your wallet, keep your HBAR safe. You can earn more rewards on Yamgo. Please sign up at yamgo.com and watch this space for more exciting new educational content and partnerships with big brands. We're looking for funding. If anybody knows any Web3 investors, please reach out, Ian at yamgo.com, and look out for our new sort of video where we're doing a regular update starting tomorrow on what's going on with Yamgo, what's going on in the community. We're going to have a regular update. We're doing so many things and doing so many partnerships and deals in the background. We'd love to get more exposure for that. So watch out for our podcast. And thank you very much for having me on. You've got to get our product director on, Ryan Davies. He'll be able to give lots of detail about the ins and outs of our products. So
he's fantastic. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Ian. Take care.
Cheers, Zenobia. Cheers.